Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Firmament. We have just parked the giant ice cube in the realm of... I don't know if we've learned what this place is called yet. You know, it's a realm. But we will continue exploring this frozen ice quarry. And finally, now that we're on the other side of this bridge that we found earlier, we can go back easily, what took us 10 minutes to do last time. One of the things we did see over here earlier was this thing that the mentor said would take us to something called the Swan. This is apparently Curie Vale Bluff, and this is apparently a conveyance pod. Okay.
You will not be able to witness the wonder of the other realms, but you will transit to the Swan first.
These streams of light here are very concerning and worrying.
Welcome to the Swan, where we gathered, talked, sang, learned, ate, laughed, shared. My memories of this place, so vivid, so wonderful, so peaceful, till it was shattered. Lies are controlling, but comforting.
Keeper's Rest. Welcome to the Swan. You have earned the honor of resting. You require cycles of rest, as do all living things. Recharge for your purpose of keeping the realms. Converse with your comrades, disport yourself with crafts, music, or frivolity. Find respite in your quarters. Acknowledge in the lights of the firmament above those who now sleep. Yet do not be overly focused on rest. The purpose of rest is to assist us in fulfilling our keeping, with increased energy and renewed vigor. Do not concern yourself with fatuous dreams during rest. Dreams are not trustworthy, rational, or measurable. Dreams bring false thoughts from our subconscious that might distract us from our true conscious purpose. You are a keeper. Rest is a vital part of keeping. Appreciate the small rests until it is time for your deep sleep. The Founders. Okay. And the thing is labeled Curie Vale. And there's some sort of scratching and scraping marks going from the Curie Vale pod up the stairs, past this pod from Juleston. Let's follow this scrape first. It goes all the way up here to this bright, shiny room. Where it looks like it came out.
Is the threshold where we cross from wake to sleep, from sleep to wake. I put them all to sleep. It was very difficult.
Keeper's Wake, it says. And it's got a whole bunch of names. Looks like feminine names on this side of the threshold and more masculine names on this side. Although I'm not sure that's all. Like on... yeah, it could be. Like Cola's the only one I question. And you'll notice there's no green names because the green paint appears to have spilled into the carpet. There's some green on the wall over there, but there's no green names. And we can't interact with this thing further. But just the nature of this thing suggests funeral customs.
Time
Keepers...
heals all wounds. I recently learned of that saying. Seems like a tonalization when the wounds of the seed are so fresh. I recently learned of that word. But indeed, time in the threshold heals all wounds. What mixed emotions I have about that.
The threshold. And we notice there's some upturned furniture here as if there was some kind of a scuffle. There's a syringe there. So something has happened here. And now our mentor is dead and everybody else is sleeping, apparently. All I can say is this is very shiny and steampunky.
They prepared us well. They gave us everything we needed. They gave us life, hope, and purpose, and answers. They gave us a name, the Keepers. Regardless, there are more important things. You must begin to prepare for the assembly. You must do things that have never been done before. You must do things that I can only imagine, and have even imagined for little of my life. I only wish I could see it. Awaken the embrace to prepare.
And we have instructions. Prepare for the assembly. Awaken the embrace. But we don't know what that means. Keep looking for a grand piano in here. I feel like there should be one with all the shiny in here. There should be a piano, but I don't know. And this looks like a...
The only difference between a heresy and the truth is time. I wonder, do you agree?
There is nothing we do not know. To the ends of the firmament. We answer, we know, we keep. No, we don't. Keepers together, our answers will provide. The firmament will prevail. Keepers together. Maintain the firmament. Keep. Now the light fixture has been ripped off the wall. That wiring is very suspicious. Art Deco seems to be the theme of the day. The Keeper's Poem. Observe the firmament above, our waking lights shine bright, our comrades in the tapestry, a wondrous, restful sight. The lights of wake, alive above our head, the dark of sleep, deep sleep we do not dread. The vault is ours to contemplate, a canvas of our lights, ever coruscating web, the hallmark of our nights. And it's got a picture of the outside area of the Swan there. The lights, the lights, the lights of wake, the keeping mission binds, the dark, the dark, the dark of sleep, the threshold clears our minds. The firmament, we know our tasks, the realms, the promise to keep. We pledge our waking hours to thee and tell our time to sleep. The lights, the lights, the lights of wake, the realms are sore adored. The dark, the dark, the dark of sleep, we sleep to be restored. Someday the realms shall be fulfilled, arrivers shall draw nigh. They shall awaken the embrace, our destiny supply. Okay, if I'm going to be awakening this embrace thing, am I one of the arrivers? That is a question. The Keeper's Parable. There's a lot of reading here. In other realms that we cannot reach, there were other keepers who lived and worked together in happiness and harmony. The keepers contributed to the firmament mission and to the common good, and they shared happily the fruits of their labor. One day, a keeper awoke from the deep sleep with a new idea, a different idea, a troublesome idea. This troublesome keeper decided there could be a different way of doing things, a way he called more. This troublesome keeper tried to convince the other keepers that they could work for their own benefit rather than for the good of all. This troublesome keeper said that all could accumulate more, and having more could make them happier. At first, the keepers were skeptical. Like all keepers before, they lived with reason and measurement, and they knew such a way of more seemed against reason and measurement. They asked where more would come from and how long it could continue. The troublesome keeper provided ridiculous answers, claiming that more could come from everywhere and would last forever. They laughed, but the troublesome keeper persisted. The persistence of the troublesome keeper wore down their thoughts of reason and measurement, and they became tempted by the promise of more. Gradually, the keepers embraced the idea of more. Their focus changed from keeping the realm to collecting the more. This seemed to make them happy at first. As time went on, they became consumed by the more, and the realms began to suffer. The machinery began to break, the crops began to die, and the animals became ill, and water became tainted, and the air became putrid. And the keepers also began to suffer. Some were sick, some were hale, some were hungry, and some were fat, some were thirsty, and some were bathed, and some had none, and some had more. And those who had more began to look down on those who had less or none, as though such a thing was possible with reasonable keepers. These realms and these keepers were dying. In the midst of this chaos, a wise keeper remembered the faithful ways of keeping. The wise keeper spoke and mentored about the faithful ways of keeping the realms, healing and feeding and watering, and caring for all as comrades without more, but with fruits for all to share. And the wise keeper reminded them that this was the true way of reasonable and measured happiness, a happiness that could last and would be for all. And this faithful way of keeping would ensure that the mission of keeping their realm, of keeping each other, could be sustained. The keepers of the realm were able to overcome the forces of more and return to the faithful ways of keeping. They learned to let go of any destructive thoughts of more and to embrace the mission of keeping the realms and keeping each other. And all the keepers once again lived in harmony, lived and worked together in happiness and harmony. Do not be swayed from the faithful ways of keeping. Strive to be a wise keeper. Don't think for yourselves. Don't worry about dreams. Keep for all. I'm detecting some very communist thoughts here. But we'll hold on to that thought for right now because there's some sort of a mystery to solve. And then down over here, we have another room that's been opened. And this is the exact same thing. I'm not not going to read it again. You can replay the video if you want. We have a diary here. I have no one to share my agony with, and so I write. Words, how many have I learned, and even with such new ways to describe my feelings, I do not have any of these words left to express my sadness, my anger, my... How did it all come to pass? The truth. Unbearable, the void, so boundless, so cold, so dark. I am struggling, grasping for understanding comprehension. Turner, a dark power, a monster. Even he only a tool in such a dark objective and plan. How could such darkness be handed such power? Did he seek it? Did it seek him? Does it always seek such servants? Was I a servant myself? Am I like him? We were all the keepers of what? We were naive souls, nourished by lies, and then by his own dark power. How could he? How could I? I saved them. I lost them. I was compelled, but what now? What of me, trapped, solitary, the burden of knowledge and deception steals my joy and my breath. My heart hurts inside of my chest. An emptiness of time stretches out before me, and there is only me left to fill this time. The loneliness, how does a human live with it? The truth, the lies, the confusion, how does a human know? I am adrift, floating to nowhere in my own agony. Is there hope? Will this plan save us? Can I save myself? I wish to rid myself of such beautiful deceit, but I wonder if such a desire is even possible. I saved them, I lost them. So there's seriously some stuff that's been going on here. Another room that's been ransacked and used for storage. And another copy of the Keeper's Poem. I'm not going to read it again. If you like it, you can replay the video or get your own copy of the game. One thing I didn't point out on the other side here, this other hallway full of rooms, is that we apparently have found a master key to allow access to other people's rooms. But there's little else that we can learn here from the Swan at this point, other than we can also go to Jewelston or to St. Andrew. Because that's about the extent of the Swan. I still can't find the piano that should be here. There is no piano, it doesn't matter, but it's just something that I would expect to be there.
The pub always amazes me, magically bridging the gap to its distant dwellers.
That's nice. Really, it is. But why do you keep shouting stuff like that at me? Alright. So we've reached the thing. We can go back down here to get to the top of the ice cube, but we don't really have need of being on top of the ice cube because the lower doors are closed. So let's see what this thing is.
I wish I could speak to you. Do you know who you are? What your story is?
Nope.
Your story is you.
And with your deep sleep erasing memories, like you keep saying that the threshold clears your mind, Ominous music. Okay, down this direction here. We have banners that look like mushroom clouds, which is concerning. We have an eye on a stick, which is concerning. And we have this...
How is it I could stare at this spire for my whole life and never wonder what was below? Because the box of the story we were told comforted and constrained us. The spire is important. You will return here to completely awaken the embrace.
There's some machinery down there. But we're not going to be ready for that for quite some time, actually. So we'll not worry about that here. But this is apparently a spire, and it apparently is important. So let's go over this way. I think this is the first. This is the way forward. That socket up there works. It is a heavy door. Very Art Deco. Oh, that's going to be a puzzle, isn't it? Here we can see that machinery from this angle. And this door has a socket on the opposite side of it, which is not helpful. And it looks like there is a staircase and platform there that might be the way forward. So we may have a goal. I like it when we have a goal and it's not just wandering around aimlessly pushing buttons and flipping switches. Ominous music again.
We wake.
Another pod. Destination added Fairyvale Ice Factory. So when we go in here, we can now select Swan. Or the Bluff. I already been to both of those places. I already exhausted what we can do there for right now. And we have some broken catwalks. Haven't I already played this on this channel? This seems vaguely familiar. Let's go up here. And the eagle-eyed will notice there's a socket up here. And it now says ice transport ready. We see a door opening.
I was taught that temperature is what divides ice from liquid. Liquid from steam, steam from ice. The environment can change it. Jenna made me realize that this applies to living things as well as water. I have been changed.
So if the door is open, and you know that socket there being up, took me forever to find. I was tearing apart everything else in this area trying to find it. Trying to find where to go next. But no, it's that hidden socket above your eye level, which means humans don't look at the ceiling ever. I guess lack of predators. That lack of airborne predators. So we can either go up to the Omni Wheel and go back up to the ice cube, or we can take that conveyance pod. And I think I'm going to take the conveyance pod just because. But we're going to do that probably in the next video and see what we can do with this thing. Here, let's get to the conveyance pod before we wrap up for right now. As expected, it took us right back here. And we may not oh, wait, we can. We raise the bridge so we can get back to where we were. And I just want to show that if you're in the wrong place with the Omni Wheel in the wrong position, we can summon it. Not going to because we don't need it, because we can go down this way, and this is actually where we're going. Guess you have to hold to confirm in this one. So I'm hoping that that machine at the other end that we saw down in the factory, this is where this is going, is not a giant ice shipper, because then that would be a really short game. And this is going to nicely bridge a gap between catwalks that we have here. And then we have the ignition switch here for the whole thing. Ice processor and big trap. This is vaguely horrifying. Yeah, you don't want to be on that ice cube when it goes through there. We could also have parked the... No, we couldn't have parked the pod there because it's not open in all directions. And how much of this damage is just due to the Mentor being the only one doing the maintenance for years, and how much of it is her damaging the thing a la Savidro in Myst 3, changing the thing to make it more difficult and more educational. And these things here are still running and are hauling ice in this general direction. But we'll see if we can figure out how to get onto this crane thing, because that's probably, we're going to use this crane to get up to that catwalk there. But we'll do that in the next episode. Thanks for watching.